Make your day rich.
You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Join the party that is Make Your Day Richer TV by advertising your brand, business, or project during the show. Use us to promote what you're doing to make our viewers' day richer. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Hello, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here on this lovely Thursday, wherever you're joining us, from wherever, at whatever time. I'm glad you're here. It's Thursday, right? I think so. I hope so. Because next week is Christmas, and if you don't have a gift yet, go to our gift guide at, this is what happens when I'm not prepared. Go to our gift guide at makeyourdayricher.com/shop and go get some great gifts, including these. If you don't have time to cook, go get these Rule Breaker delicious cookies. I got these on a whim. I'm usually afraid of cookies that are plant-based and not homemade because usually they're not good. These are so good. They're soft, they're chewy, they're and great flavors. So go get those on our gift guide at makeyourdayricher.com/shop. All right. Also, this week, there's a new episode. We're closing in on the end of season 1 of the Autoimmune Campfire, which is a podcast that I help produce. And the second to the last episode was just released. It's available wherever you get podcasts, including YouTube. And they have a great Substack that you should also join. Take a look at this clip.
And that's the first piece of information I got because, of course, you do the MRI and then I have an app that basically gives me information about what happens before I talk to the doctor, right? So I get all this stuff and I'm like, I have a new lesion, which is alarming in and of itself. And they also had a measure of brain volume and it was like super low. And I'm like, what is happening here? So all that happened. And then I go to the doctor. And look, I'm like, ugh. So I go to the doctor. Thank God I took my husband. And she's like, yeah, so this will be your new baseline since now you've been on this medication for 6 months. So they weren't terribly concerned about a new lesion, although I could tell they were, she was like, yeah, you have a new lesion. So, I mean, she wasn't like, no big deal. This is expected. This is what, it wasn't that.
There you go. Autoimmune Campfire with Helen and Nona. Take a look at that, would you? It's a great podcast. We have a good, great, amazing show today. Amanda Trisdale is here. She is the CEO, co-founder of Autistic Wings Dance Company. She has a really amazing story. I wish her daughter could have been on, but she was at school. So we're talking to her about how she founded this dance company and why it's so important for kids on the spectrum to have access to dance. So we're going to take a break and we'll be right back with Amanda after this. Don't go away.
You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Join the party that is Make Your Day Richer TV by advertising your brand, business, or project during the show. Use us to promote what you're doing to make our viewers' day richer. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
All right, we're back, everybody, and I'm here with Amanda Trisdale. And Amanda, not more importantly, but also you have a very special guest next to you. Who do we have there?
This is Jack Elvis.
Jack Elvis. Where'd that name come from?
My husband thought he was a stray because he was around our neighborhood so often, and he followed my husband home Thanksgiving Eve night 3 years ago now.
Wow.
And stayed at our house for a weekend while we tried to find his family. And we found his family, but they were like, it turns out having a pit bull staffy mix is more work than we thought. And my daughter had needed a name to call him while he was around. So she picked Elvis because she's a huge Elvis fan at 13.
Of course. And why not?
He had the name Jack. So we just meshed them together. And now he's Jack Elvis.
And now he's living the best life possible, it looks like.
He thinks he is.
Yes.
He's spoiled rotten.
Yeah. I also love that when before we started, we couldn't move him. So that's why Amanda's a little off center. But I think that's also important to get Jack Elvis on there anyway. And that's also very similar to how we got our dog. She followed us home and we couldn't find her owners, and now she's living the life, you know?
That is the best type of dog. Is all of our dogs have always been rescues. So
yes, yeah, that's something special about that. And we'll come back and talk about that too. But I really want to talk about the Autistic Wings Dance Company that you formed. First of all, congratulations and thank you for doing that. It's so much work to put together a nonprofit and to build that. How's it going?
it's going great. I've got a wonderful board. We have an amazing founder. My 13-year-old daughter is actually putting in a lot of work to get this off the ground. It was her idea last year when she was 12. She is working around the clock. Thankfully, she's homeschooled, so she can help do like the social media and figure all that out.
Oh, so fun. You need a millennial. Are they millennials? No, that's like younger than a millennial.
She is Gen Alpha. She's just on
Okay.
that cusp between Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And she's like, I picked Gen Alpha.
You get to choose, and I love it. So can you tell everybody how it came to be?
Well, Leta was born obviously with autism. She was nonverbal or diagnosed nonverbal when she was 3. She did not have receptive or expressive, which meant she didn't understand words we were telling her, and she could not express any words. We had her in intensive OT, speech, and physical therapy for a bad right hip she has on top of everything. When she was 6, her physical therapist was like, her stem reminds me of tap dancing. Go get this child in tap dancing. We put her in tap dancing. She wound up flourishing. Not only did she learn tap dancing, she started speaking English, which was something we weren't sure was going to happen.
Were you anticipating that, or was that just a bonus?
That was a bonus. We were like,
Wow.
yay, you're actually speaking. It's really weird to have your child call you mom when most kids are forming full sentences, but it was something that it was impressive for us. She got in during COVID with Chloe Arnold, who is an amazing Emmy-nominated choreographer from Hollywood, who has done work on movies, on stage, all that. Leta never fit in with traditional dance studios, though. A lot of things she does with her autism, her stimming, her not liking looking people in the eyes, her higher pitched voice till she was older, were all seen as being disrespectful to the adults, even though that's just who she is.
Can you tell everybody what stimming is? Sorry.
I speak. Can you tell I live in an autistic world myself?
Yeah.
I'm autistic myself, so all this is just like normal words to me. Stimming is an unconscious, uncontrollable movement. For Leta, her biggest stim is she does a very complicated 3-point tap move that normally older teens have a difficult time doing. She has done it her entire life. Do not ask her to do it consciously, though. She cannot do it consciously.
That's amazing.
But if she is bored or she's trying to listen, she starts doing it without meaning to. It does, if you don't understand autism, when people are like moving their hands while they're talking, or they're popping bubbles, or moving their hands in circles, or moving themselves in circles, that's uncontrollable. They don't know they're doing it. It could look disrespectful to neurotypical people who don't understand autism.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and it's important, obviously, to surround them with people who do understand it, right?
Yeah, it is, because our teachers, we've gotten lucky. We have a bunch of teachers who are dance teachers, but they also happen to be therapists.
Mm,
So we
smart.
get and they're not dance therapists, they're OTs, they're occupational therapists, they're physical therapists, they're speech and language pathology therapists. So they know autism backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
Um, which is really helping. We don't do adaptive dance. We're adapting the dance curriculum to the students, but next year we're hoping to offer a pre-professional program that is not adapting, like going, because adaptive dance is kind of like, "Well, we know you're never going to be good enough, so we're just going to give you this fun thing to do."
Mm,
Which is a problem for someone like Leta, who is semi-professional. She needs to hone her craft to become a professional. She doesn't need you to adapt the dance to her. She just needs to adapt how you're teaching it to her learning style, if that makes any sense.
I mean, to me, it makes complete sense of why people just don't do that on anything that you're learning anyway. It doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
to me. But who am I,
Traditional studios keep going, well, no, she needs to adapt her learning style to how I
Mhm.
teach. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. School should be like anyway, that's a completely different topic. But yes, I mean they're children. So you had her in a dance studio, you had her in dance classes. What made you decide I need to open my own?
The 12, now 13-year-old decided that. It was
Oh,
very much her idea. She's like, uh, from her perspective, the teachers and the other students were bullying her. I will
mm,
grant them the grace that I don't think they meant to, but they kept pointing out her differences and pointing out her flaws and telling her how she wasn't good enough to even work with who she's currently working with in Hollywood. And she's like, "Well, you're stupid." You know how preteens and teens are.
uh-huh.
And she was like, "Well, then if I'm getting this and I'm working with Emmy nominated, Tony nominated, award winning choreographers, what are other dancers who are in my spot getting?"
Hmm.
And so she decided we were opening up a dance studio.
And what has that been? Because when did it open? Last year or this year?
It opened, we started putting everything together, getting the 501(c)(3) and everything, because it takes a bit of time, and getting our
Mhm.
sponsors. And we still can't publicly say until next year who our sponsors are, because businesses, everything starts
Yeah.
January 1st. But we started all that in February, put in the paperwork in March, spent a few months fundraising and trying to get everyone excited, and opened our doors September 1st of this year.
Oh my gosh. And what has this year then been like? What did you do before this?
I was in politics, so it was a great year to start something like this.
A good
The
distraction, right? Yeah.
number of people who were like, "Hi, you need to be working on my political campaign," and I'm like, "Sorry, Leta started something."
What has it been like? What have you learned this year while opening the school?
There were a lot of things that I hadn't quite thought were needed, but once we started opening it, like we're doing a dance studio version of the IEP. That's an individual education plan that most students with disabilities have in their school system. We're bringing that into the dance world. I'd never thought of that until we started working, and
Mm,
teachers our neurotypical teachers who are coming from outside the world were saying things like, oh, I'm going to put our kids in velvet. And I'm like, velvet's the bane of every autistic person's existence, right?
From like a sensory
Yeah, it's
feeling.
a major sensory issue. And just the way the neurotypical teachers who come from traditional studios were like, well, so just get over it. And I'm like, that's not
None of
how,
this works.
yeah. And the amount of having to explain to them like how a sensory issue feels. Like Leta and I both have the same sensory issues with socks. Do not ask either of us to put socks on. And having to explain the physical reactions of a sensory issue. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is why this isn't working in traditional studios. Is there's so much to
Mm.
understand about autism that just isn't. The two of us live it. We kind of just assume
Yeah.
everyone should know it.
Yeah, I suppose. And when it's normal for one person, like you have to, then you have to look at every probably piece of what you're doing in the school, right? And kind of evaluate that. But that's also student
Yep.
by student, I would assume.
It is very much student by student. Our class sizes, we would like to get them all down to like 3 kids per class, but our preschool and our level 3 autistic dancers classes don't give above 3 kids per class. And that's with 1 teacher and 1 helper in a class. Our classes cost us a lot of money. We are keeping them in line with traditional studios. So one of the reasons we need to fundraise.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my question. The studio is in Colorado Springs.
Yep.
And how can people support you, whether it's volunteering, money, a huge thing in nonprofit world? Like, what's the best way to do that?
Money, if you know any kids who are on the spectrum whose parents are iffy, because we do have a lot of parents who are neurotypical who are iffy about letting their kids try something, pressure them to let their kids try stuff.
Mm.
But money is the biggest thing. Like I've been doing, because it's the giving season here in Colorado Springs. We have our Colorado specific giving is a week after everyone else's Giving Tuesday, which gives me an extra week to fundraise, thankfully.
Uh-huh.
But our preschool classes are 30 minutes long. It runs us $586 and some change per students per month.
Mhm.
We're charging them $45. It's a little bit of a difference there. Leta swears by dance. She doesn't want to turn any of these dancers away at all. Even our older classes, we're charging $55 an hour. It's running me $383 and some change for each one of those hours
Yeah,
per
yeah,
student.
yeah. People don't realize. I was in the nonprofit world, and I want to talk to you as well about the National Organization for Arts and Health. Have you looked at them?
I have not looked at them quite yet.
Okay, I have some contacts for you. 'Cause it's
Wonderful.
exactly what you're doing, and
Yes.
you should definitely be a part of that organization. You'll have great contacts there. How many students right now do you have total?
Currently, we've got just a handful of students. Our problem right now is we do not have our own space. We are working within space of other studios. So we are getting class space as we have students. We have a donor standing by to retrofit a space for us as soon as we can get the students for the spaces. So we
Mm.
also need kids to go in and pre-register for our winter classes.
Okay, and where do they do that?
Autistic Wings Dance Company.org. It's on the page. It's under classes. It'll say register and it's got all of our classes listed. If you have a dancer who cannot be in a class of even 3, we have teachers who are willing to do individual classes for the same price as our regular classes. We are not going to charge you an arm and a leg for private lessons.
Oh, what have you heard from the students or the parents so far of the people that you've worked with?
They've been happy about it. They've said,
Yeah.
"Oh, we've got weird thing. We've got students from other dance studios who are waiting to come over, but they already said they were staying at their studio for the year." But the weird thing is being one of the problems I don't find as much as neurotypical parents. Most neurotypical parents are surrounded by other neurotypical parents who are judging their kids for doing things.
Mhm.
And we're not judging your child. We're not judging your parenting. It's kind of
Mhm.
like, yeah, that's just how a neurodivergent child works. Why are you worried about that?
Yeah, and yeah, yeah.
And for the parents, it's been amazing because they don't have to feel that judgment. No one's going to come up to you and go, "Oh, your child's melting down. What have you done wrong?"
Mhm. As a mother, how does it feel to be building this legacy with your daughter?
It feels a little overwhelming at times, but it feels
Okay.
amazing that she has come up with something like this.
Mhm. Yeah, something she can be so proud of, and you can.
Like,
It's such a great story, and I love that you're sharing it on your. You have a podcast.
we do. We have a podcast. Leta and I co-host. It's Leta's Tap Styles. On Tuesdays, we tend to talk about tap. Sometimes autism is thrown in on Tuesdays. On Fridays, we tend to have people from the autism and special needs community come in and talk to us about autism and special needs.
And where can people get that podcast?
They can get it on anywhere podcasts they get their streaming podcast. It's Leta's Tap Styles. It's also on YouTube. Leta, being Gen Alpha, is really wanting 1,000 subscribers.
So let's get her that.
It's really weird because Gen Alpha has gone backwards. Like Gen Z is over on TikTok and Gen Alpha is over on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is taking over Google for like search engines. It's kind
Yeah.
of interesting how this pendulum is swinging. Well, I can't thank you enough for being here. I hope we get you to that 1,000 subscribers so everyone's happy. I'm looking forward to following up with you next year and seeing how this is growing because it's such a need, and I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Thank you. Autistic Wings Dance Company. This is Amanda Trisdale. And we'll take a break and we'll be right back after this. Don't go away.
Tired of harsh chemicals in your home? Let's change that. At EcoGlow Cleaning, we bring eco-friendly expertise right to your doorstep. We will make your day richer by bringing a glow to your home or office. For over 20 years, EcoGlow Cleaning has been the trusted choice for professional cleaning services in the Charlotte area. From deep cleaning to regular maintenance, EcoGlow Cleaning offers a wide range of services. All services are tailored to your needs and schedule. Our eco-friendly products ensure a healthy and safe environment for you and your family, including your pets. For a free quote, visit our website at www.ecoglowcleaning.com or give us a call at 704-777-9768. EcoGlow Cleaning is a proud sponsor of Make Your Day Richer TV.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you had a great day here on the show, and I hope the rest of your day is amazing as well. Go make your day richer. Go make somebody else's day richer. Of course, you've made mine for watching the show. I love you for it. On tomorrow's show, join us for a happy little Friday with The Get Up Show. Host, creator, actor extraordinaire Colin Borden will be here to talk all about his show. It's called The Get Up Show, and it's for kids. So tune in tomorrow to learn about a really good show for your kids that will not damage them. All right. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.